friends, Kim from Stamping Imperfection. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I don't know about you, but I got the beautiful bokeh bundle with the paper and the embossing folder and the die set and the stamp set and whatever else came in this set. I think there were sequins. I love this set. I've made several cards with it already. But I gotta tell you, I've been wondering, what are these two stamps used for? I watched a product spotlight video a couple of days ago with one of the women who works at Stampin' Up, and she shared what these two stamps are used for. I'm going to use those along with this die to make a really fun card. I pulled out all the supplies that I'm going to use to make this card, and let me show you what those are. So I've got the beautiful butterflies stamp set, and I'm going to use these two stamps right here, the mystery stamps, and I'm going to use the happy birthday sentiment. I really like that sentiment, and I think this is going to be a really pretty card, so it will make a great little birthday card for someone. Plus I'm going to turn it into a gift card holder, so that will be helpful too. So I'm going to use the beautiful butterfly stamp set, which, by the way, during the month of February, you can get this for free. If you don't have this stamp set, you can actually get this for free by placing an order of $60 or more. Every $60 you spend, you get to choose one free item. This is one of the free items that you can choose. I love that. So I'm also going to be using the beautiful butterflies die set, and there's quite a few dies in this stamp set, but I'm only going to use one of them, and that's this one right here. It's got all of these in here as well. I could use this one also for the sentiment, but I'm going to use a different tool for my sentiment. So I've got the dies all ready to go here. I'm just going to put this aside. I'm also going to use some of this bokeh paper. This is the beautiful bokeh paper. It does come as a bundle if you buy the whole bundle, or suite I should say, with the butterflies, the die set, the embossing folder, the bokeh paper, the 6x6 designer series paper called Beautiful Bokeh, and I believe there's also some sequins, at least sequins. So check the catalog to see what all is in that suite. It's a good one. So I've already cut down my bokeh paper. I trimmed it down to I trimmed off a 3.5 inch piece, which left that, and then I trimmed the 3.5 inch piece down to 5 inches, and I hope that is straighter than it's looking. It does look straight here. Okay. I'm going to keep these two pieces, and I'm going to put this one aside for another project. I've got and I pulled out the piece that's in Calypso Coral. This is what the back looks like. You could use either side of that. I love the bokeh effect. I have my Calypso Coral ink pad. I have two note cards. Note cards come in packages of 20. They're pre-cut and pre-scored. The finished size of a note card is 3.5 by 5. I've got two of those, and I also pulled out one of the envelopes. You get 20 note cards and 20 envelopes in the note card set. So I've got two note cards, one envelope. I've got a 3.5 by 5 inch piece, and then this is a 3.5 by 1 inch piece. I've got a 1 inch piece of basic black, and I've got a 1/2 by 3.5 inch piece of white cardstock. So those are the supplies there. I'm also going to use this Happy Labels punch. I love this. This is a tag builder punch. For me, I love using this for sentiments, and that's what I'm going to use it for today. And friends, this is another thing that during the month of February you can get for free. So if you spend $60, you can actually you can select this Happy Label punch. If you spend $120, you can pick two $60 items, so you could pick both of these. I think that's amazing. And where are you going to shop? You can shop for your Stampin' Up! Supplies at shopwithkim.net. All right, I also pulled out, and I've been pulling these out for every project, this set of sequins. These are the purple adhesive back sequins. I got these for free. This is another free celebration item. Again, spend $60. This is one of the things you could select as your freebie. So I will probably use these. So this is all I have left from the package. I went ahead and got myself a second package because this is how many sequins I've used since the beginning of January. It's crazy. And the other thing I pulled out is this is the free celebration fresh freesia ribbon. It's kind of a distressed ribbon. I pulled it out because I was originally thinking I would use the for either the fresh freesia color or the berry burst color of the paper, but I decided I wanted to make Calypso Coral, so I'm probably not going to use this. Now there are free papers that are available. There's 3 different packages of free papers in the celebration brochure that you could choose for your freebie also if you didn't want to spend money on the bokeh paper. So there's that. So I'm folding this one. Actually, I'm going to fold both of these. So I'm going to end up with a card that has a pocket inside that will hold a gift card. So let's start with that. I'll do my gluing so things have a chance to dry. So I'm going to just add a little bit of this liquid adhesive. I love the liquid adhesive. I think it's so cost effective. A tube of this stuff lasts a long time. And you know, I craft every day. I make multiple projects a day. And that tube will last me at least a month, if not 2 months. So like I get a lot of projects out of that. So I'm just adhering this to the front of my little note card. So I have a pretty little front to my note card without a lot of effort. I mean, you can hand do the bokeh effect on your, on a piece of cardstock, but it's a lot of work. So I'm gonna, and it's hard to actually get it to look that good. So I'm going to open this up, and I will probably take a scissor and just trim that little edge off because I put my paper just below the fold there, and I might have actually slid it down a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I'll just take my scissor and trim this off here because it's overhanging a little. I must have cut it just a tad too big. So I'm just going to slide my scissor along the edge of the front of the note card. There we go. And that's nice and straight now. All right, now I'm going to take that little piece, and when I put this down, I want to make sure that the front of my card is not the part I'm gluing this to. I want to glue this to the inside of the back of the card. So I'm just going to put a little glue along one long end and both short ends here. And then I'm going to put the glued end along the edge of the card, right below that fold. I just want to make sure this closes without, make sure it's not hanging off the edge. And again, I'm going to just trim the little bit that's overhanging here. If you cut it right, you won't have to do this. I must have just lined it up a little off on my trimmer. Sometimes it happens. All right, so this is going to be a little this is going to be the pocket for my gift card holder. So I left this edge open so my gift card will be able to slide right in there. So I've now got a gift card holder, and I love that. All right, so I'm going to put that and the envelope aside and move on to my die cutting portion. So for this part, this die has, like, dies have these raised edges, those are the cutting parts. Those are the parts that do all the cutting, those raised bits. So you always want that facing toward the paper that you want to cut. But I want to put the fold of my card below this. So when I do this, I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to pull out some, I've got this low-tack masking tape. So I'm just going to pull a piece of this off, and I'm going to do this so that that cutting piece at the top is above the fold, so it won't cut. That won't do any cutting on my paper because I'm putting it above the fold. And I'm going to tape it down just like that. All right, once you get this set up, I'm just going to send it through my die cutting machine. Okay, so when you remove all the parts, you end up with this beautifully die cut butterfly shaped card. So I love that. Now my machine is pretty old. You can see that I really need to replace these plates or start, actually one of the things I might need to do is to start placing a piece of copy paper beneath the plate on top of the cardstock so it doesn't leave these marks on my paper. But luckily I'm going to cover most of that up with stamping. Now I have one more thing I want to die cut. I have this piece of black cardstock. I'm going to put that right here on the middle of this, like this, and I am going to tape this in place so it doesn't move. I'm just going to run this piece through. It almost fit in my small cut and emboss machine, but it just didn't quite make it. It was just a little too big. Okay, so then when you pull this out, and I'm going to get rid of this part up here. Okay, so when you pull this part out, now you just need to take your scissors and just trim the center of the body part. And I just kind of rounded it up to the top like that. I'm going to try to keep both sides fairly consistent. Like that. Okay, and it doesn't have to be perfect because there's no right or wrong there. If you make it skinnier or fatter, it just doesn't matter. And oops, I really didn't get that one side very consistent with the other side, did I? There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so now I can do my stamping and I can finally show you what those mystery stamps are for. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So I've got two blocks to put the Alright, so I pulled out two blocks here and I'm using the B-sized blocks just like that, and I'm going to pull out the happy birthday. I could do a so thankful card, but I kind of like the way happy birthday fits on this butterfly. So I'm going to just pick that up with my sentiment stamper. So I've got these two here. Now I always play with it a little bit, and I'm going to use, there's two sides to this, like this one has this longer piece here and this one has this shorter piece. I could really use it either way. I don't think that it matters, but I'm going to use it so that I'm using this long side here. So I'll do this one first, and I'm going to line up the long side of this here, this sort of straight side with this straight piece right here. So I'm going to use this to decorate the front of this butterfly card that I just made. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to ink this up with the Calypso Coral, and then I'm going to line this up so it's sort of in the center of this bottom part of the butterfly, and I'm going to line it up so that this side is straight and parallel to that part of the wing. And if you use the other side instead, that's okay too. So I just give it a few seconds to make sure my ink is soaking in, and now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to come over to this side and I'm going to use that same straight edge, and this time I'm going to line it up with this part of the wing up here. I'm going to try to center it so it's got an even white border all around, like this, just like that. Isn't that pretty? So that is what that's for. Now you've got the other one, and you're going to do the same thing here. And by using the other one, now I'm using the same long or straight side on this little decorative piece to line up down here. Just like that. And then again, I'm going to go kitty corner across to the upper part of the wing with this same one, and I'm lining it up with the top part of the wing and hopefully getting it fairly straight and even. And there we go. That leaves my butterfly decorated. Now I've got that body piece that I cut out here. I'm going to add a little glue to the back, and I'm just going to put a little dot of glue on each of these little antenna bits, and then I'm going to line it up. So I'll line up the bottom part of the body and the little antenna bits just like that. And you could add some white gel pen detail if you wanted to that. You could decorate that more if you wanted to. And think of all the techniques you can do, you know, for coloring in. You could use your Stampin' Right markers and add multiple colors to this. You could do the rock and roll technique with your ink pads and add a couple of different colors when you stamp them. Like, there's so many ways you could add multiple colors here as well. So that's always a fun thing to do. So that's going to go on top of here. So I'm going to glue this down, and then I will stamp my sentiment. So I'm just going to add a bunch of glue to the back of this. And I'm going to line it up so it's centered on the card, and I want the fold of the butterfly to be right along the fold of the top of the card, just like that. So I'm going to just hold this down for a minute, and I'm going to wipe up that excess glue there. And luckily that dries clear. So now I can open this piece up and write my message in here, and I'll have the inside of the card for my gift card. So I love that. So I'm going to do two more things. I do need one more block. I definitely want to add, I want to do a little stamping on the envelope and a little stamping on the inside of the card. And I'm still going to use that Calypso Coral, but first I want to do my sentiment. So again, with the Calypso Coral, I'll ink this up, and then I just want to center in this panel. And again, this is 1/2 inch by about 3.5 inches. You can shorten it if you want to, but now I want to give it a decorative edge. And again, there is that nice die and the die set that you can do that, but I wanted to show you this in case you wanted to grab this for free, because punches are like $23 or something. They're expensive. So there's two choices that you have here, and it's set up so you can use, I used a 1/2 inch piece of paper here. You could use 3/4 inch or a 1 inch, and you've got two different kinds of ends you can make. I'm going to use this one. This one's my favorite. I just slide that all the way in till I feel it stop, and then punch, and you can see the cute end you get there. I love that. I'm going to do the other end and make sure it's all the way to the end. There we go. And I love it. It just makes such a nice little sentiment strip. And this is the second one that I know of that they've had. They have another one too, which I also love. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Maybe they'll come out with another one of these punches with some different ends as well. Okay, so I just put two Stampin' Dimensionals there, and you want to make sure that they do actually hit your butterfly. Okay, just like that. I'm going to pop that up there. So I've got that. Now let's stamp the envelope and the inside, and then we'll add some sequins. And I'm thinking that I want to add a little bit of color to those white sequins that I plan to use, just so they coordinate with the color here. So I'm just going to add a little butterfly here to this upper right hand corner. And I just added the butterfly to the front of my envelope. So now I've got my card all set. Now I just need to add the jewelry with the sequins. Okay, so let's take this, and one thing I am going to pull out here is my Stampin' Blend. This is Calypso Coral. Okay, so I'm using the darker one. I'm just adding with the bullet tip of the darker one. I'm just adding some color to the top of these. And I suppose you can get around the edge too if you want to. I'm doing 2 of the smaller ones and 2 of the larger ones. And this is alcohol ink, so it does dry fairly quickly, but I am going to try to keep my fingers off it while I put them on the card. Let's see if I can manage that. So I'm going to put these on the card. I don't think I can manage. There we go. Look at that. I managed to get it without touching it. And then I'll add the 2 lower ones down here at the bottom, just to add a little bit more of something. And I can use my free sequins. I love using my free sequins. I love free. So let me just move these things. I'm going to pull out all the things that I used for free here. This is what the new package of sequins looks like. You really get a lot of sequins. I've used this on every project practically that I've done. So here's one in Calypso Coral. I also did one in the, I actually used Berry Burst for this. I liked it a lot. The Petunia Pop actually matches pretty well too. I've done a couple in Petunia Pop. So that's a freebie that I've used to make this. That's a freebie that I've used to make this. This is another freebie that you could use to make this card. So you could get 3 freebies here. You could also grab the Fresh Freesia ribbon because it does coordinate beautifully with some of the colors. I guess it probably even goes with that orange. I didn't put any ribbon on this particular card, but you sure could. And I love this, like freebies galore. And you could use free paper because they have lots of free paper that would be appropriate. For example, this very cute Toadstool Gardens paper. I've actually used an entire package of this already. This is actually my second package. And I haven't even done any scrapbooking with this yet, so that will be next. So you could use the free paper. Let me show you a couple other things that Stampin' Up! Just added to the list of things you can get for free. They added this gorgeous Night of Navy and Gold ribbon to your set, and I haven't even opened this. I've actually had this for a while, and I just don't find myself adding a ton of ribbons to my projects lately. So let me see. I know this looks beautiful in the catalog, which is why I purchased it. So let me take this off and find the end. Here it is. Oh, this is really pretty. You can see how pretty that is. Super pretty. So that's now one of the items you can select when you spend $60 or $120 or $180. That's one they just added. They also just added this punch. This is the Build-A-Bee punch. It coordinates with the Meant to Be scrapbook workshop kit. So you could actually build a whole bunch of bees to coordinate with that cute paper and that cute stamp set. And they added the Natural Botanicals stamp set. I love this one. I've got several cards, which you'll find on my blog. This is one of those reverse stamp sets. So you get all the outline stamps, and then you can flip them over on your block, ink up the back, and you can stamp a solid color image of that same outline stamp. And I've made it some pretty cards, and actually I've used it to make some single layer cards too. If you are a person who loves clean and simple cards, this is a great stamp set for that. Then another thing, and these are all things that I already had. Like I had already purchased all of these things previously. So I'm telling you, these are things in my stash that I didn't get for free, but you can get for free during the month of February. These I did get for free because those were specifically for celebration freebies during the month of January. The other thing that I bought that I love, I use this quite a bit. I do a lot of scrapbooking, but I also do use alphabet stamps for my cards. These are alphabet dies. And these are expensive, but during the month of February, you can get the Alphabet a la Mode dies for free. There are 2 sheets of alphabet letters in here, dies, numbers. They have numbers, they have alphabet letters. So there you go. You can get that for free also. So I have to say I'm jealous about being able to get all these things for free that I bought. But I'm happy that you will be able to take advantage of that sale. So you have till the end of February to, get an extra freebie when you make a purchase. So spend at least $60, and if you spend $100, make sure you spend at least $120 because these punches are like 23 bucks or something, something around there. And stamp sets are are $20 or more for a stamp set, $24 for some of them. So, I mean, you can get that for free, or the Natural Botanicals. So check it out, friends. See what you might be interested in, and you can make some beautiful cards. And I did have to, of course, you would have to purchase the die set for this and the bokeh paper, the beautiful bokeh paper and the beautiful butterflies coordinating die set. I also have a package of note cards, and note cards come in 20 note cards with 20 envelopes. And their finished size is 3.5 by 5. And you can see I used Calypso Coral and I used Berry Burst for these two cards. I actually really like the cards. I think they're super cute. And I love that they're kind of interactive because somebody will have two parts to flip open. I like that. It's just a little bit more in your card. So thank you so much for watching, friends. I hope you have a wonderful day. I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you as a subscriber. And if you're looking for supplies and you want to take advantage of getting some of these items for free, and maybe stock up on some cardstock or inks or something, so you can get the good stuff for free this month, then check out the my Stampin' Up! Store at shopwithkim.net. Thank you so much, friends. I hope you have a great day. Take care.